Hello and welcome to the second of my videos about Memoir 44 game, and today I am going to play a second scenario from this game, Sainte Mere Eglise. A scenario about American paratroopers fighting against the Germans near the Sainte Mere Eglise town. There is some new stuff in this scenario. First, new terrain. First we have a hill. We have one hill on this board, and what hill means. Like before, there is a card for hill, so it blocks line of sight, so you can't fire through this hill, but you can fire from the hill and at the hill, except from adjacent hills at the same height. So if you have hills here around, this hill is not blocking your line of sight. You can have unit on one hill and firing on the one hill, and it works fine. No movement restrictions. This is interesting because in most of the war games you have to pay extra movement points for entering hill, but not in this game. You can enter the hill without paying any additional movement points. Terrain protection applies only against units battling from below. So there is terrain protection, so infantry unit that fires on the hill has -1 die, and same goes to tanks, but only if these units are attacking unit on the hill from below. If there would be unit on the hill attacking another unit on the hill, then this protection, these restrictions are not in effect. So that's about hills, and we have something more interesting and annoying. Hedgerows. Hedgerows are kinda like forests, but they are, well, a bit more complicated. First, they are blocking line of sight. Just like most of the terrain, you cannot fire through the hedgerow. Unit moving in must stop. Just like in the forest, when you enter a hedgerow, you have to stop. Unit moving in cannot battle. So if you move inside a hedgerow, you cannot fire. Except French resistance. So if there is a scenario including French resistance units, they are able to enter hedgerow and fire on the enemy, but not any other kind of units. To enter, unit must start from adjacent hex. This is the annoying thing, because to enter hedgerow, you have to start your movement at the adjacent hex to hedgerow. So if they would be moved, and they are in the one hex distance from hedgerow, then they wouldn't be able to enter this hedgerow. They would be able to move here, or there, or there, or there, but not here. To enter this hedgerow, they would have to start their movement from this hex. When exiting, unit must stop on adjacent hex. So, if unit starts its movement on hedgerow, it can move only one hex and finish its movement on the adjacent hex to hedgerow. As for battle restrictions, we have -1 for infantry and -2 for tanks. So you can see that hedgerows can be quite a pain in the ass. And finally we have one new unit. These are tanks. I'm going to move camera a bit. So tanks has 3 figures. There are special rules when you have elite armored troops that have 4 tank figures, but usually tanks have 3 tank figures. They move up to the 3 hexes, and they may battle. So this is very good because they can move 1, 2, 3 and still fire on the enemy. May overrun on successful close assault. So if they would attack and eliminate unit on the adjacent hex, they are able to enter such a hex and then attack any other unit. And then they have a very good range of fire because they're firing on the 3 hexes, and in each distance they use 3 dice. So this is tanks are definitely great. Well, they are only a bit more vulnerable because they have only 3 figures, so it is easier to eliminate them. Otherwise they are very good, especially against units that are not in the terrain, because when they are in the terrain, then most of the terrain gives some protection against tank combat, like for example hedgerows, forests, or towns and villages. But when your unit is in the clear terrain, it has to be very careful about being attacked by tanks. Now, when all the new stuff is covered, we can move to the special rules of this particular scenario. Let's check them out. And first, we have 4 medals to win, just like in the previous scenario. Axis player has 4 command cards. Allied player takes 5 command cards and move first. But there is also a special rule about airdrop. Player takes one of the infantry figures and place it somewhere about 12 inches above the board as well. This is going to be something like, I believe, this, and makes it fall. It lands on the hex, and if it lands on the board, you have to place 3 additional figures on this hex. So this is a good landing. If a figure lands out of the board, it is removed, and so unit, but it doesn't count as an eliminated unit for medals. I'm going to make another. Oh, they land here in the forest, but according to the rules there is no problem when you land in the forest. Well, that's not very historically accurate, because if you make an airborne landing in the forest, this is not a very good idea. But well, okay, next airborne. They are all landing in the very same location. I don't think this is very good, but well, they will be able to focus their fire on the enemy units here, so maybe it will work. All right, and the last airdrop. Okay, they landed here. So it was very good airdrop, because no American airborne unit was eliminated. I remember playing this scenario with 2 of them, so a half was eliminated in this step. But so far it works good. So these are all American units that we will about to use in this game. Now it changed a bit the situation, I believe, because you can see that there is about a half more of Americans than it was before. So American chance to win this scenario increased greatly. Okay, so as the final preparation part, we have to take command cards. First we have to take 5 cards for allied player. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to keep them here. And next 4 cards for German player. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's good to remember to shuffle your deck before every play, because sometimes you get similar cards coming because your cards weren't shuffled, and this is not good because you want your cards shuffled. And allied player has an initiative, so allied player is starting the game. So let's check allied cards. Okay, what we have here: other 2 units on the right flank, so this might be effective here. Now recon. This card allows me to move only 1 unit in the middle section, but then I can draw 2 command cards and choose one of them. Move out. I can move 4 infantry units that are anywhere on the board, so this is pretty good. Counterattack. Counterattack allows me to play this card and use the card that opponent used in his previous action. So this can be effective sometimes. And wow, wow, this is great card, especially for this scenario and this situation. Wow, why? Because target a group of 4 or fewer enemy units adjacent to each other. Yes, you can already see this group or that group. Roll 2 battle dice per hex allied air attack, or 1 per hex axis air attack. So I am allied player, so I will use 2 dice. This is good. And now it is getting better. Score 1 hit for each die that matches unit symbol, grenade or a star. Yes. Each of them means 1 hit. For each flag, retreat 1 hex. Flags may not be ignored. So you can guess that I'm going to play this card because it's just awesome at this moment of the game. Because I may fire on them, and I may choose 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are all adjacent, so they will be all targets of the attack, and I'm firing on them. First on these Germans. 1 symbol, so they are eliminated, and 1 flag. So they have to retreat, and you have to always retreat towards your side of the board. So Germans have to retreat north, and allies have to retreat south. Next, them. 1 loss, 1 hit, and 1 retreat. Next, them. 2 hits, and now these tanks. 2 miss. So, that wasn't bad. I hoped to eliminate some of these tanks, but, well, I failed. That's not good. And now that's all for allied players, so I'm taking 1 more command card. Going to check it out later. Oh, sorry for moving my camera. And now we are moving into German players part. Now let's check German players the card. Move out allows me to use 4 infantry units that are anywhere on the board. Attack allows me to activate 3 units in the middle zone of the board. Reckoning Force allows me to activate 1 unit in each zone. And Assault allows me to activate all units in the left zone. So, now this is the question what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to play Move Out, because this is quite a good card for now, and my units suffer some losses, so I need to make some actions to change this situation. And I am moving them 1 hex. I am moving them 2 hexes. I am activating them, and I am moving them 1, 2. So, that's all when it comes to my movement, and now let's resolve combat. First, they are firing on these Americans. They didn't move, so they can do it with ease. And they are firing with 3, and because they are in the forest, we have to subtract 1 die, so we are firing with 2, and it is 1 hit for Germans. And next here, they moved 2 hexes, so they cannot battle, but they can, because they moved 1 hex. They are firing on them, but they are firing with this 2 die, and now we have to remove 1 of them because they are firing on the hill, and 1 because they are firing on the units behind the sandbags. So you have 0 dice. I did it on purpose to show you that there are situations when you can get a number of dice reduced to 0, and you cannot fire in such a situation. So it would be better instead to move them 2 hexes, so they would be able to fire in the next turn. But I didn't make it. I made it on purpose to show you that there can be a situation when you cannot fire at all. So I am taking 1 card from my from the deck for Germans, and I'm moving to the Allied, or maybe American I should say, part of the game. Okay, so our allies are next, and let's check it out. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And now, remember that the last German card the German player used was Move Out. And now, because of the counter-attack, I may activate this card again, but now as Allied card. So I can activate 4 Allied infantry units anywhere on the board. So you can see counterattack is a very good card sometimes. And I have to choose which units I'm going to activate. I think I will start with these guys. They are not going to move, they are fire on the upcoming Germans. And these two units, they will also fire on the Germans instead of moving. And the last one is, I think, they. And they are going to move here. Okay, so that was a movement, and now I can start my battles. I'm firing here on the Germans. They are on the adjacent hex, so I'm using 3 dice. But because they are in the forest, I have to subtract 1, so I roll with 2. Wow, very good hit. And now they are firing on this lone German soldier. Oh, they managed to survive, and he retreats. Okay, and now they are firing on these Germans. So Germans have to retreat 1 hex. Well, it could be better. It wasn't bad. So now Germans. And now a new card is Firefight. Issue an order to 4 units to open fire. Units in the firefight may not be adjacent to the enemy unit and may not move. Firefighting units roll 1 additional die. So it's sometimes a very good card, but not now. Why? Because we don't have any much of the Allied units, much of the German units that are not adjacent to the Allied units and are able to fire on the Allied units. So I'm going to keep this card for later use. And I think I will use this card instead. So, as for this zone, I'm moving them, and they will be firing on these guys. As for the middle zone, I'm going to use them. They won't make a movement, they will fire on these approaching Americans. And as for this zone, I think I will use these guys to fire on these Americans. Okay, so let's start. First them. They are firing on the hill, so they have -1 die. They are firing against the sandbags, so they have one less die, so they will use 1 die only. Oh, and they scored 1 hit. Next to them, they are firing on these guys, so 1 roll, and it is a miss. And finally here, they battle against them, so 3 dice in use. 2 hits. That was quite good. And 1 more card for German player. Now, Americans are next. We have a counterattack again. So, but I don't think I will use it. I don't think it will be needed. Instead, I'm going to play Assault. So I can activate all my units in the right zone. First them, they are moving 1, 2. Next them, they are moving 1 hex. And they are not going to make any movement. And them, now the question is what I'm going to do with them. I can move them out, and I think this is a good option because they will be safe here in the forest. Okay, so that's all, and now I can resolve my battles. First, I am firing with this unit against this lone German soldier. Germans are in the forest, so I have to subtract 1. Oh my! But, well, this might be a not bad effect. Why? Because they would have to retreat, and they cannot retreat any further, because they are on the last remaining hex of the edge, so this unit is eliminated. And because of that, Americans gain 1 victory medal. Next them, they are firing on these Germans, so they have to use 2 dice and 1 hit. Not bad, not good. It could be better. Next them, they moved. They moved 1 hex, so they can fire on these Germans, and these Germans are in the woods, so I can use only 1 die. So Germans have to retreat. Okay, so I think this is all. Yes, that's all when it comes to the Allied actions, and we are moving into German actions. Oh, I should give Americans 1 card, and now Germans. And this is a very interesting card. Let's take it up. Take a look. Behind enemy lines. I think that maybe some of you, especially the older ones, might remember a great game on PC called Commandos Behind the Enemy Lines. It was one of my favorite tactical games in the high school. So when I saw this title of this card, it instantly reminds me about this game. So let's take a look. Issue an order to 1 infantry unit. Unit may move up to 3 hexes. Unit may battle with 1 additional die. Then move again up to 3 hexes. Terrain movement restrictions are ignored. Terrain battle restrictions still apply. So it means that we can choose one of our infantry units. We can move up to 3 hexes anywhere, ignoring terrain restrictions, attack the enemy with 1 additional die, and then move up to 3 hexes again. So we can just return to the hex where we were. So what I'm going to do is I'm choosing this unit, and they move 1, 2, 3. They are firing on these Americans with 3 dice normally, but because of this card they can battle with 1 additional die, so they use 4 dice instead. So this is quite very effective. So I'm firing on these guys. I scored 2 hits, so 2 units are gone, and now I can move 3 hexes again, ignoring terrain restrictions. So, for example, 1, 2. So you can see that was good, because I managed to eliminate 2 American units and moved to the better protection hex. Okay, so that's all. And now I should give Germans 1 card, and then I can use my American cards. And I think I can use actually this card again, if I want to, because you saw how it works. And because of this card, I may play this behind enemy lines. So I decide to play it, and I think I will. What I'm going to do now, the question is, I'm activating them 1, 2, 3, and I'm firing on this lone German unit, or these 3 guys. I think I will choose these 3 guys here. Oh, so 2 of them are eliminated, and 1 of them has to retreat, and since they cannot retreat again, so they are eliminated. So Americans gain 1 medal again, and now they can move up to 3 hexes. 1, 2, and that's what I'm going to do. You see, these counter-attack cards are very good sometimes. So that's all when it comes to Americans. I'm taking 1 more card, and we move to Germans. Now, Germans suffered some very heavy losses at the beginning of this game. It wasn't very good for Germans, so now I'm thinking of using this card actually. I can use up to 4 units and open fire to the enemy units that are not on the adjacent hexes. So I could give this order to these guys, to these guys, to these tanks, and to these guys. I think this is the best option. So I am activating this card. Okay, and now let's take a look. Units in the fight may not be adjacent to the enemy units, and they roll with one additional die. So I'm firing with them on these Americans. I have two dice normally, because they are firing on the 2 hexes range. I have one additional dice because of the discard, and -1 because of the forest. So I roll with 2 dice. I'm going to re-roll this one. Wow, I scored a hit. Americans are eliminated, and the German player gains 1 victory medal. Okay, next day. They are firing on these Americans. They have the situation is essentially the same. They have 2 +1 of the card, -1 because of the forest. So we fire with 2. Oh, that was a failure. And now these tanks. These tanks may fire on them as well. I believe, because I have to check if they have a line of sight. And I think they can't. Let's check. Yes, they can. Why? Because their line of sight is not coming through this hex. If it would come through this hex, occupied by another unit, then they wouldn't be able to trace a line of sight, but they can. And now they are firing with 3 dice on the range of 3. They get 1 additional dice because of the firefight, so they have 4. And now, because they are firing in the woods, they have to subtract 2 of them because of the card. So they fire with 2. Wow, 2 hits. That was good. That was good. Okay, German player receives new card. And now Americans. Now this is a very good card. Check it out. Target any one enemy unit. Roll 4 battle dice, ignoring any terrain battle die reduction. Score 1 hit for each symbol, matching unit symbol or grenade. So this is a great card when you want to end this game, because you can choose some weak unit anywhere on the board and attack with this barrage. So this is quite a good option, but not for now. As for now, I'm going to do something else. I think I will use this move out. And what I'm going to do, I think I would rather move them here. Oh no. I would love them to move here, but this unit is already occupying this hex, and you cannot just make what? So I have to move them here, and they are moving here, and I have only 2 more infantry units to activate. What I'm going to do is, they are moving here, and they are moving here. Okay, and now they are firing on this German guy with 2 die. Oh. So it is a hit. 1 German soldier is gone. So 1 more American medal is gained. So all Americans now need is 1 more medal to win this battle. Now they moved, so they fire on the 1 hex. So they moved on the fire on them with 2, -1 because of the forest. So they fire with 1. It is a miss. Same to them. 1 grenade. So we activate these 3 units, and I am going to activate, and I moved them, so they are going to fire on these Germans with 1 die again. Oh, so Germans have to retreat 1 hex. That was good. Okay, so this card is up to leave the game, and now Germans. So Germans are in a very complicated situation. The question is if they are going to win this battle. And all allies need is to eliminate one German unit, and they will win this battle. So Germans have to do something clever. The problem with this tank is that these Americans are all hidden in the woods, so tanks are not very effective against the units that are hiding in the woods, as you already saw. Okay, so I think I will activate my left flank. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and they are moving here. 1 and firing on these Americans. You may ask why I made such a move here. I made it on purpose to show you something, because this is something that people tend to forget about. When you are they are firing on these Americans because they moved 1 hex, and now some people may think that if sandbags are placed here against these 2 hexes, then they are effective only if enemy unit is firing from this side on this side. And this is not true. Sandbags are effective against against any unit firing against unit in the sandbags. So even if they are here and they are firing on these Americans, sandbags are still working. You have to remember about it, because this is something people tend to forget quite often. So I'm firing on them. I have 3, -1 because of the sandbags, -1 because of the hill, so it is only 1 die. And we have a flag. Normally these Americans would have to retreat because of this flag, but because of the sandbags they can ignore first flag. So they are fine, they don't have to retreat. Okay, so Americans are next, and I think I will use this barrage card now. I'm rolling 4 dice, and I have to choose 1 enemy unit that I'm going to fire. I have an option to fire on these tanks or these 3 Germans, so I decide for these 3 Germans, because barrage allows me to ignore terrain battle die reduction. So I'm firing with 4 dice. 1, 2, so 2 Germans are eliminated, and 1 German unit retreats. Oh, I hoped to get 3, so I would be able to eliminate this unit and win the battle, but it seems that it wasn't my destiny. So Germans are making their next action. Oh, I have again this card. This is good. So I can move this wing again. Or, oh no, I think I will do something like this. I'm going to use my Medics and Mechanics card. I have to roll 1 battle dice for each card I have, including this one. So I have to roll 4 die. And now for each symbol matching the unit or a star, 1 figure is returned. So I'm rolling 4. So this is 1, 2. I'm going to roll this one. No, this is a bat. So I get 2 figures back. This is very good, because otherwise this single German unit could be easily eliminated, so Americans would be able to win the battle. Alright, so Americans are next. And what about them? I think I activate this card. As you can see, I'm fighting mostly on the right flank with Americans. And now I am moving these guys here, 1, 2. So they are entering the city, sorry, town, and they cannot fire because a unit that enters town cannot battle. Safe to the French resistance. So they are here, and they are just firing on these Germans with 2 die. Oh, that was a very unlucky roll. Okay, so that's all for Americans, and now Germans. What Germans are going to do? I think I will play this card. I'm continuing my offensive here on this right flank of the game. So they are moving here. 1, 2, they are moving here. And 1, 2, they are moving here. And 1, they are moving here. Okay, so these 2 units cannot battle, but these 2 units can battle. And each of them fires with 1 die. So first them, 1, and next them, 1. See? Slowly and slowly, but Americans are suffering some losses as well. Okay, so that's all. And now Americans. Do I have any cards for this flank? Only this one. So I have to play it. So, first these guys are firing against them with 3 dice. Got a reroll. My, this was very unlucky roll. And next they are firing against them with 1 only. Oh, 1 hit. That wasn't good. So 1 more card for Americans, and now Germans. This is quite good card I just received. Issue an order to all infantry units in 1 section. Units may move up to 2 hexes and still battle, or move 3 hexes but do not battle. Terrain movement and battle restrictions still apply. So I can activate all of them. This is good. That's what I'm going to do. And now I move them 1, 2. I move them 1. I move them 1, and them 1. So they moved 2 hexes, and and they moved 1. Because of this, they all are still free to battle. So they are firing on this American unit with 1 die, and they are gone. So 1 medal for Germans, and these sandbags are gone. And now they are firing on this American scene. They are all firing into this wood. So they have two dice because of the 2 hexes range, and -1 because of the woods. So each of them fires with 1 die. First them, 1 flak. So Americans are retreating, and because of that these 2 units cannot fire at them anymore because they moved away, and now this forest blocks line of sight. Oh, I hoped they will suffer more losses actually. Okay, so that's all when it comes to Germans. Now, as for Americans, I have to do something in the middle, because Germans are slowly pushing me from this direction, so I play this card, so I can activate 3 units in the middle zone. First them, next them, and next them. Okay. So they moved 1 hex, so they can fire, they can battle, and they target these Germans. 1 loss. These Americans are firing on these Germans as well with 1 die. It is a miss, and they are firing on them as well. So they have to retreat 1 hex. That wasn't very successful attack. And what Germans are going to do about this? The problem is that they don't have any more cards to activate their left wing. They can only activate right and middle wings, and they don't have much units in the middle, only these guys. And so the only thing they can do is to activate their right wing. And now I'm moving these tanks, 1, 2, 3, and I'm moving them here. Okay, so these tanks are firing against this American unit. They have firepower of 3, but because of the forest they use only 1 die. It is a miss. And they are firing on this hex. They are firing on the adjacent hex, so they would normally use 3, but because of the town they have -1, so they use 2. Oh, one loss and 1 retreat. So they are close to eliminating any of these units. And now notice an interesting fact. Germans need to eliminate 2 American units to win this battle, and they have 2 medals, and there are 2 single figure units on this side of the board. So Germans are still able to win this game, while Americans have to eliminate only 1 German unit to win this battle, but there are any significantly weak German units on the board. So this can be quite an interesting situation. So it is Allies' turn, and now let's take a look on their card. It is 2 in the middle, 2 in the middle, 1 in the middle, 1 in the middle, and dig in. Well, dig in allows you to choose 4 infantry units, and you may place sandbags next to them. But I wish I had some unit card that allowed me to activate my units in the left zone, but none of them. So I have actually 2 options. First, to play any of these cards and activate 2 units in the middle zone, or play this card, activate only 1 unit, and then draw 2 cards and choose 1 among them. So you can see this is not an easy thing to do. So I think I will play this one. This might be a risky choice, but maybe it will work for me quite good. So I can activate only 1 unit. I decide to activate these guys, and I'm firing on this German unit with 3 figures, with 2 die. Okay, so let's make a roll. Oh my, this is bad. Germans suffered no losses, they have to retreat only. And now I'm going to draw 2 cards from the deck and choose only 1 of them. This one is not going to work for me, because it is again the middle section. But now, this one is pretty good, because it allows me to order 4 units of my choice, no matter where they are and no matter what they are. So I'm going to keep this, and this one is going to leave the game. Oh my, a sun. Okay, so now this should work. And now Germans. And now Germans. What Germans are going to do is... I think I will play this card, because this can be best thing that Germans might do in this turn. If they are going to activate these 2 units, so 1 activation would be in waste, because they can activate 3 units here, but they have only 2. But notice, if both of these units would attack these Americans, and both of them would score at last 1 hit, Germans win the game. So let's make a roll. First for them, they are firing on this American unit with 3 dice. Wow! 3 hits, so 1 American unit is eliminated. Germans gain 1 medal. And now these tanks. Well, they are going to face harder task, because they are firing with 3, but forest provides +2 protection for infantry, for units against tanks. So these tanks are going to fire with 1 die only, and this is a miss. So the game goes on. We are still fighting on, and let's check what Americans might do. I also gave 1 card to Germans, and now Americans are going to play this card, because this is the best thing they can do. Okay, so I can order 4 units of my choice. I'm going to order these 2 units to fire on these tanks. Maybe, if I would be able to eliminate them, then Americans will be winning. Okay, and I have 2 more units to activate. I think I will activate this unit and maybe this. Okay, so they are not going to make a move. They are going to fire. They are moving here, and they are going to fire. And these 2 units are going to fire on these tanks. So starting with them, I'm firing with 3 dice. Oh my, Germans are retreating. And because of that, they are out of range for this unit, I believe. I have to check if I am right, but I believe that such terrain blocks, yes. This terrain, if your line of sight runs through the edge of some kind of terrain, it blocks your line of sight. So all they can do is to fire on these Germans with 1 die. It is a miss. And now here they are firing on them with 2 dice. 1 hit. And they are firing with 1 dice. Sorry, they should fire with 2 dice. Okay. And now they are firing with 1 dice. It is a hit. Okay. So that's all when it comes to this great card. I thought it will end this game, but it seems it still has to go on. Okay, now our Germans, and what Germans have on their hand. 3 units in the middle zone, 3 units in the middle zone, 3 units in the right zone, and Armored Assault. Armored Assault is: issue an order to 4 armored units of your choice. Units in the close assault roll 1 additional die. Terrain movement and battle restrictions still apply. So I think I'm going to try to finish this game. So I'm moving these tanks, 1 hex, here, and they are firing on these Americans. They would normally use 1 die, but because of this card they can use 2. So there is a bigger chance to score a hit. And yes! That's it! Wunderbar! Super! Extra! Now Hitler would be quite proud of them, because of this successful attack, Germans won the battle. As you can see, it is possible to change the situation very quickly, and even if Americans were on the winning side at the beginning of the game, quickly eliminating a big number of Germans, they still failed to win this battle because Germans were, well, kinda lucky, of course, because you already noticed that this is a game of luck. There is a lot of stuff depends on the rolls, on the good luck with drawing your cards. So this is not something you would like to play if you like to use your brain only and not depend on the luck. But it is still a funny little game, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I plan to do more about some other scenarios from the both core games and from the modules, because like I said before, I have a couple of modules and I would like to play them as well, because of being able to show you more about the special rules of the certain modules, terrain restrictions, new armies, and so on. But as for now, I think that's all, and thank you for watching, and see you again.